I'm Dan Galusha, and welcome to another edition of Shoot and Plank. Here we're going to be looking at another Air Venturi target today, and I'm going to bring you back to the one that we tried out before, which was the cowboy gong one that you use for cowboy type shooting. It's on an angle, as you can see right here. It's on this type of an angle. It goes down here. Well, we've been shooting at a little bit, not a whole lot. And this is what's got me worried. I mean, this is fine, yeah, and we know we're going to knock it out here. But look at back here. I don't know if you can see this or not. There's all sorts of little pits back here. Now, I've not been shooting at the back of this. I've been shooting at the front. And these are actually sticking outward. I don't know if there's a problem there or not. But anyway, that's the one that we talked about before. Now we're going to talk about a different one. And I just got this. I guess it's on sale because it's about as cheap a price as I could find anywhere, about 50 bucks. And I got this from Sportsman's Guide, and this is called a Dueling Tree. Now, there was a lot of reviews about it that there's a weld down here that has been breaking off. Well, they must have changed the design, because the one that I've got does not have a weld. Let's see it right down here. See, there's two bolts down there, right down there. You go right through. Now, the paddles, you got to put them on yourself. And they do have a tapped spot. I'll show you here right on the back. This is all tapped, and these screws go right through there. You can see the screws. Well, on the back you'll also see there's a couple of nuts. That kind of reinforces that, which is a very good idea, because I decided to use my Milwaukee drill and set it on the screw. By the way, when you're going to do this, if you use something like that, set it on the screw adjustment and set it to about 2 or 3 on the torque. Don't set it too high, because I stripped one of them out, which that was good that it had the nut back there. And that also will kind of reinforce them, like I said. Now, here's another thing about it that I like. It's got a spring adjustment. So that's for different velocities. Boy, I tell you, it's getting cold out here and the wind's picking up. We're going to be trying this, and I'll show you. I'm going to try to give this a good test for you. I'm going to use a couple of different guns. One is the Gamma Swarm, the Fusion, and this one's got a lot of good punch to it. That's what we're going to see how this withstands that. But I'm going to shoot this back at about 10 meters. Now, it says that you can shoot it at about 5 feet. So what we're going to do is the Umarex Browning here. That's the Gamma Swarm, like I said. This is the Umarex Browning, and this has got an actual Browning buckmark sight on it. This is a buckmark, and this is a break barrel. And we're going to shoot that at about the 5-7 yard mark. I always like about 7 yards, so I may go to there. But we'll see how this is going to work, how it's going to hold up to it, and hopefully this is still adjusted. I can't remember when I put this on even, and if I got it adjusted right, but hopefully that red dot's going to work good. It's a reflex sight. Like I said, this is a regular Browning sight, and this is the Umarex Browning buckmark. And what we're going to use for pellets is my favorite, the RWS Hobbies, and that one's running a little bit low. Hopefully I got enough pellets there. But they're a good pellet. That's another thing. You're supposed to use lead. Don't use any alloy pellets. Do not use BBs. Don't shoot this thing with BBs. This one, this gong target that we talked about before, yeah, you can shoot that thing with BBs. So let's set this up, and now we're going to go back there and we're going to start shooting. Okay, you're sitting here in about 7 yards. And I'm going to move on back to that 10 meter mark and get started with this break barrel. And we'll see what this thing does. Better get my glasses on too, I forgot about that. Well, you could see that I hit it. It just didn't move. So that spring adjustment probably needs to be changed a little bit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shoot up here a little bit closer with that buck mark, and we'll see what that does first, and then we'll maybe change the spring adjustment. We'll just take a look here. Like I said, we're at 7 yards here. Could have moved up to 5 like they suggested, but we're going to take a look, see if this works. It hit it. It just didn't move it, did it? Well, let's go up to that 5-yard mark. Nope, didn't budge it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to change that spring adjustment, and then we're going to come back and we're going to shoot again. Okay, I've adjusted the spring way down, and I went inside and loaded the swarm back up. It's just too doggone cold to stay out here. I checked the wind chill, and it's down in the single digits, so it is a bit cold. And we're going to take some more shots, but like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to use this swarm first, and then we'll go back to that buck mark and see how that works. Well, my shooting was off a little bit, as you can see. It hit it a few times. It worked a little bit better. Now we're going to take the buck mark and we're going to see what it'll do here from 7 yards. This is so doggone cold, it's even hard to load the pellet. So, let's see what it does. That still won't do it, will it? It hit it, it just didn't do it. We're going to load another one. I'm going to move up to 5 yards. Nope, didn't do it. It hit it, as you can see. And I got that thing adjusted way down. Tell you what, I'm going to put it all the way down, as far as it goes, and then we'll see what this buck marker will do. We know that the swarm will knock it over, but it's a lot more higher velocity. So let me readjust that, and then we're going to shoot again. Okay, I've got this adjusted all the way down. Again, we're going to try it at 7 yards and see what it does. And then we'll move up to 5 if we have to. Didn't do it at 7. It hit it. You could hear that. Okay, here we go at 5. Well, it hit it. That's all we can say. So, I'm not going to shoot anymore right now. We're just going to go back there and we're going to talk about this. Well, I'll guarantee you, it's cold out here. My hands are freezing. Of course, I've got problems anyway there, which a lot of you already know about, but we're going to talk about this. I got to pick this cold piece of metal up. Well, you can see where I was hitting. I should definitely flip that thing over. I mean, you do it by hand, yeah, it goes over real easy. So I'm hitting it where it should be hit, but in fact it's even knocked some paint off the back. And I'm going to show you here. Here's the spring adjustment like I showed you, and you can see I've got it all the way down. Now it held up good otherwise, we will say that. It definitely held up. It didn't do like people said where they were knocking it off of the welds. Nope, no problem there. In fact, it's got, in fact, I'll show you this. Man, this thing's cold. Right here, it's got a little V to it. It's kind of nice because if you hit that, it'll deflect off here. It won't be a flat piece of metal. We're really thinking ahead there. If that's a flat piece of metal and you hit it, it's a good chance it's going to bounce back at you. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but there was a couple of times when I hit the paddle and the pellet came back my direction. It didn't get all the way back, but it did come back my direction. And that's what's good about having your safety glasses on. I don't care if you're shooting, what you're shooting. If you know, even when I'm throwing knives, it's not a bad idea there either, because you never know when those things are going to be coming back if you ricochet one of those over. But right now we're talking about this Venturi Dueling Tree, and I don't know if you're going to be shooting a lower velocity, like up in Canada where they're, you know, 500 feet per second or less, actually underneath that. I don't know, I really don't know. I was shooting at 5 yards. I mean, how close have I got to get with that in order to make that buck mark? Because this buck mark is not all that bad. This shoots pretty good. And it hit it. You could probably tell that. You heard it when it hit. And the swarm, of course, you got a lot more punch with that Gamma swarm. It's got a pretty good kick to it. It's got about 1,000 feet per second. And I was shooting that from back there at 10 meters. And when I was hitting that, and you can even see the difference, you know, on the paint where it knocked it off. Whereas, let's see if I can even see where we know we hit it with that. Yeah, you can actually see it. Here's a good spot, because this is the one I was shooting at. You can see right here. See the difference? The big spots are the ones where the Gamma hit. The little ones, which are actually a good enough impact that it should have went around, it didn't. And I don't know why. But do you have to take the spring all the way off? If you do, that won't work either, because that spring has to be resetting it. So as far as how good it is, I'll leave that up to you. For pistols like this, I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. I'd like to try a CO2, but it's just too doggone cold out here, and it's not going to hold up that much. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.